Having created a tag set and applied some tags to a cell, you'll often need to edit the tag information, and there are several ways of doing this. In this video, we'll take a look at the simplest method, and then in the next video, we'll look at a more complex method. To edit the tag values which are currently in place on the screen, we'll use the Edit Tags tool. Nothing in the Tool Settings window, so no settings to change. The prompt says identify the element, so we'll click on the actual chair itself. Up pops the tags which are attached to this chair in the exact chair tag set, and we can change the values. For example, let's change the color. Let's make it green, and we'll enter for that, and we'll say OK. And our color has changed from red to green automatically. So very simple to change individual tags this way. We can also change the display from visible to invisible. Let's undisplay the color item and click on OK. And the color tag has disappeared from view. This may be very useful if you have proprietary information attached to this chair that you don't wish to be displayed in the drawing set or on printouts. Let's turn that back on. OK, and the color tag displays again. There's also a quicker way of doing this, as always. Click on the element selection tool, double click the tags or the element, and the same dialog box pops into place for editing. We'll say cancel that since we don't want to edit anything else. And left click to clear the selection. Now, one thing you cannot do with the Edit Tags tool is to add new tags to the tag set or remove existing tags from the tag set. And to do that, we're going to have to go back to the Tags Define dialog box. And here we can add or subtract the actual tags in the tag set. Let's do that right now. Let's add another tag. Let's call this one size. And the prompt, size, let's give it a question mark, make sure it looks like a question. Leave it as a character. Everything else can remain the same. And click on OK. Size pops into place. Let's select the exact chair tag set. And to insert this new tag into our existing tag set attached to this chair, we go back to the Attach Tags tool, select our cell again, pops up the values just for that new tag itself. Let's click on a value. Let's make it 22 inches. And we'll enter on that one. And we'll say OK. Now note that I'm bringing the new tag into the view attached to my cursor, and I can locate it in an appropriate place. Now you can also remove tags from a tag set if necessary, but be careful here. If you remove a tag from a tag set, then every instance of that tag will be removed from the drawing. In other words, every cell or element which has the tag set attached to it will be affected by that change. So a little caution is definitely required in this case. Now, if you do actually want to remove a tag which is attached to one or more cells or elements, you can still do that without affecting the actual tag set itself. There's a tool for that, and it's this one, Delete Tags. Click on that. We have the option of using a fence for multiple deletions, and we can choose to remove visible tags only. So in other words, hidden tags aren't deleted. It's a choice. The default is for that to be off. Let's, for example, remove the color. So we click on the color tag. That disappears, and that's it. Now, having done that, it has not affected the tag set in any way. It's merely removed that particular tag from this particular cell, nothing else. Now, while we have the tag sets dialog box on the screen, we can also remove a tag set. And this obviously applies to this section. So this is remove tag set. And again, be very careful because every single tag set of this type in the drawing will be removed completely. And this may not be what you want. You may want to remove individual tags, but not all tag sets in the entire drawing. We can rename a tag set. That causes almost no problem whatsoever, since it's essentially the same tag set, just a different name. And we can duplicate this particular tag set which is selected. And you'd want to do that if you had other, for example, chairs in the drawing of a different type, which themselves required a different tag set, but also had the same tags attached to them. So you duplicate this tag set to a different name, and then if necessary, you go and edit the actual tags in the duplicated tag set. It saves having to start from scratch, in other words. And one last thing. The third tool on the tags toolbox is called Review Tags. If we click on that, if we select a cell or an element, then we see the Review Tags dialog box, in which we can change the values if we wish, and the display of that particular tag. Now this may seem fairly obvious, considering that we can see the actual tags in this drawing, but if you have tags which are not displayed, which are invisible, then this Review Tags tool will display those. And this is really the purpose behind this Review Tags tool. So in the next video, we'll take a look at another tool called the Change Tags tool, which is a little more complex and requires a little more detail.